Oh my goodness, my friend. Welcome back to the Maker's Gonna Learn Unfiltered podcast. On today's episode, I am so excited. I have a dear, sweet friend of mine, Dottie Mullins. She is coming on the show today to talk about selling her crafts. I am so excited because this is someone that is very similar to the majority of everyone here that wants to sell their crafts. She is amazing, and she's going to teach you and talk to you all about how she got started crafting 5 to 6 years ago, and now she fulfills multiple orders every single week right here in our local area. Her story is incredible. She serves some of the most amazing people, and I know you're going to find something super, super valuable hearing from Dottie and her story to show you what could be possible for you too. If you're excited for today's episode, go ahead and give the video a thumbs up, subscribe for more Makers Gonna Learn Unfiltered podcast, and go ahead and enjoy the show. Dottie, welcome to the Unfiltered podcast. I am so excited to have you on. I think the audience is going to just be blown away by your story. And Dottie, what I want you to know is so many people watching are someone that probably is in the exact place you were when you first got started. And that's what I'm so excited to share. So Dottie, welcome to the podcast.
Oh, thank you so much. I am so excited to be here and get to do this with you.
Yes, it's going to be so fun. So I don't want to try to celebrate everything you've done, but you need to tell everyone who you are and what you do.
Okay. I am Dottie Mullins. I am, I guess at this point, the owner or entrepreneur. Yeah. What do you call it?
It's whatever you want.
Of Look at This by Dottie.
I love it.
And the name has a great story to it as well. But I started out making T-shirts for myself. A couple of family friends wanted a T-shirt, so I started with my Cricut. I've got the Air Explorer 1, I guess is whatever you call it. And I started with that, and they would want some. And I've been doing this 5 or 6 years.
It's crazy.
I didn't write down when I started because I never knew I would be to this point of having my own business, my own business license. I've done all of that. And selling my shirts, have my Facebook page that I do this on. Post a little bit on TikTok, but not much because I'm not sure about it yet.
Right.
But
I mean, your Facebook group is popping. I always see you have new stuff in there.
Yes.
I think the first time we met was my Halloween party at my new home. It was so fun because we had just made a sublimation course, and then Courtney found out that you're had been into sublimation forever. Not ever, but crazy. So you started with the Cricut. Then when did you get into sublimation?
I have been into sublimation for 2.5 years, something like that.
So it's been a while.
Yes, a while now.
Yeah, you kind of I feel like you beat the curve. Everyone on the internet didn't find out about the secret. I taught a class on it I actually taught a class in my community in 2019, but nobody was interested. I was like, y'all, this is go be the next big thing. Yes. And nobody on the internet freaked out about it until probably around 2021.
Yeah. So that's
people found out.
Had to be when I got into it. Yeah. And same thing. I had a friend that got me into the Cricut and doing all the vinyl, and another friend had been doing the vinyl, plus she had been doing the sublimation, and she was like, you need to try this. So I went out and bought the same printer she had.
Yes.
So she could help me with any questions I had. She helped me get everything set up, told me what to do. I'm from Hancock County. She's from Hancock County as well. But she helped me with that, and then I decided my smaller printer wasn't big enough, and I bought the bigger printer.
That's what everyone does. They won't go for the big one right out of the gate.
No, but I still have it. I still have that original first one, using it. And
that's so exciting.
I do a lot of bleaching.
Ooh.
So I wore my shirt.
I love it.
And I did the bleaching on it. I mean, it's the cow print, and it's so much fun to do.
Yeah.
It's a lot of work, but it's fun.
It's a process.
It is.
I love it.
But I love it. Work a full-time job.
Okay. Can we talk about that?
Yes.
It is huge for me, like when we first met, you're like, yeah, it's nothing for me to have like 20, 30 or more shirts. Does your husband help you?
He does. He says he's behind the scenes and never gets any credit, but I could not do it without him.
That's some credit.
Yes.
Let him hear the podcast.
Yes. So I think he's going to watch. All my friends have told about it. They're going to watch, but he says he's behind the scenes, but as I get everything ready, then he goes, we're at the kitchen table.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're doing it in the house. He's at the kitchen table. He's laying the shirt out. He's tape measure. He's getting it down, making sure it's center because he's great at. I can do it, but he's much better.
Right.
He gets it centered. He gets it taped down. I get the paper going and to the press, and we've just got our little system that he is laying it out. I'm going to the press. We're working.
You're moving.
Yes, and we're not talking a lot when you really pay attention. We're not talking to each other. We're just in our groove of doing it. But then I do all the bleaching. I do all the printing, but I could not do it without him.
That's incredible.
Yes.
So I guess everyone wants to know, how did Dottie go from getting a Cricut, getting into sublimation, hobby crafting? Because most of our audience here wants to have a side hustle, wants to make. A lot of them would be blown away if they just made a few $100s a month extra just to pay for their crafts maybe.
Yes.
How did you start selling?
Wow. How did I start selling? Well, I'm going to have to give credit to Julie, a good friend of mine. Her son goes to a local school, and we were doing our shirts. We could wear cute T-shirts on Friday to work.
Yes.
So she would get her shirts and I'd bleach them, do whatever to them. She would be going through the line to drop off her son to school, and the teachers were going, "Oh, I love that shirt. Where did you get it?" And she's like, "My friend makes it." And then somewhere along the way we did name it, but my friend makes this, and they're like, "Oh, would she make me one?" And I got into that school with her, going through the line wearing my shirts.
No way.
And it blew up from there. I mean, never in a million years would I dream to be doing what I'm doing at the level I'm doing it at.
Yeah. I mean, I get to coach people inside. We have a little container called Inner Circle, and people are constantly like, "Tanner, how do I get started?" I'm like, you simply start with who you got, what you got, and you put yourself out there. And the cool part is you never know what will happen.
Exactly. Exactly.
I mean, it's true. That's the secret.
It really is. And trust in yourself. We did, I didn't try to undercut anybody else's prices in town because there's a lot of people in town that make shirts. We all have that fear. The market's saturated. But I have my own little group.
Yeah.
I mean, like my Facebook page we're talking about, I have 523 people following me on that.
Yeah.
And not all of them order, of course.
Of course.
But
it's about the ones that do.
Yes. Yes.
One thing that I have just been so impressed when it comes to you, and I've actually even shared this with some of the people in my community, that's why I'm so excited to have you here, is about how you have focused in on the groups and the schools and the churches, because I imagine when you're getting an order for 16, 20, 30 shirts, you're dealing with one person.
Yes.
You're making the same shirt.
Yes.
Quite a bit of different sizes.
Yes.
But the best part is it's not like you're doing the same work for 20 different types of shirts. You're making close probably to the same price as one, but you're dealing with one person.
Yes. And I do those one-offs, don't get me wrong.
Sure.
All day long. I've got my own little invoice sheets that I do. So I've got a ton of those. It's just one. But then I have a local church doing a fundraiser, and it's one design. Well, no, actually there's just two designs. I take that back. Two designs. Dealing with one person. She gets the sizes they need, which color they want to put it on. We started on one color. Then they're like, "Oh, can I do it on a different color?" Well, of course you can. It's easy enough. And you just kind of sort it out. And I delivered to her. They had, I think, 30-something shirts in the first order. Then they had 9 to 10 shirts in the second order. They just placed their third order Sunday, and it is 15 or 16 shirts.
Wow. And it's all the same. You know what I mean? Like, that's just fascinating. Like, everyone's looking out and always saying, like, oh, how am I going to get the scale? For a lot of people, it could be doing these bigger orders, don't you think?
Yes, I mean, it can. It's so much easier because right now, I can do a little bit of designing on my iPad, but not a lot. I'm learning how to do it, but I don't have a lot of time to do it because of all the orders I have. So I have another friend who can design, so she designs for me. You know, of course, I'm paying her for hers, or I'm ordering off of Etsy my designs, whichever one I need to do. But Carla is her name, and Carla, I send her, I can write it down on a piece of paper.
And she just makes it.
Yes, she visualizes it, she makes it.
It's beautiful.
Yes.
Because you're getting to do, and this is what I love, how did you, for a lot of my students, also, they get to a place where they're like, well, I'm not great at designing. Like, I'm just not able to do that. How did you start leveraging your connections and the people you have? Because it sounds like, to me, you're focused on what you do best.
Yes.
And finding people to help you in those places that you may not be able to excel at the most.
Well, I've just followed friends' advice with it. They're like, this is what I do. I find my design on Etsy, and I purchase the design, and then I print it. You can get other people to print it for you, but I'm able to print.
Yes.
So I'll sit down on the couch with my laptop, and I'll get it
Format
up.
And get it all ready.
Yes. My printers are in another room, so I just make sure they're loaded with paper, and I sit there and just print away. Once that's done, I'll trim my edges up, and then I'll let Scott know I'm ready to press. So the press is heating up, and he works up in the garage until it's time to come in, and
That's
he gets ready,
awesome.
and here we go. But I focused on which parts I'm good at. I can design, like I said, just a little bit, but then Carla is a mother of a girl that worked for me, and we've kept in touch, and somehow we were talking one day, and she's like, oh, I've got an iPad, and I have Procreate.
We
Yes.
love Procreate.
Oh my gosh, Procreate's
So
amazing.
good.
Well worth the money for
Yes.
it. That's what she uses, and she's teaching me how to use it as well. And I'm like, well, can you do this? And she's like, well, give me a minute. So she'll sketch it up, whatever you want to call it, design it, and send me the picture. And if I've got any changes, I make them, and she sends it back, and that's how I get
And
it.
then you're printing away.
Yes, and it's a win-win for both of us. She's doing what she loves,
Yes.
and I'm doing the part that I can do.
Isn't that so cool? Everyone's local. I mean, it really blows me away just to see how everybody, like, you know, it's just the potential of what's possible. And what I wanted to go back to was you talked a little bit about how, you know, the market's saturated. And I coach people inside Inner Circle all the time on the market saturated. And the way when I hear that as a coach, and even with my friends who want to start a business, I think the thought is that the boat has left the yard. I can't get on it. It's not at bay. You know, it's not up at the shoreline. I can't get on the boat. It's gone. Like it's past me. What would you say for someone that has that feeling, the market's too saturated for me? What would you say to them today?
It's been a worry for me too, going into it. But what I have found is a friend of a friend tells a friend that you're doing this, and they're like, "Oh, can they make me this?" And it just builds. You're as long as you're doing good work and you're true to your word and you're meeting your deadlines, or exceeding them, because I try to get it done earlier than I tell somebody. Just hang in there.
That's the secret.
Yes.
The hard work.
Yes. Don't quit your full-time job. And like I said, I haven't. Don't quit that thinking, oh, I'm going to make it overnight. And when I don't, go, well, this just isn't for me. Don't do that. Just hang in there, because it's going to happen. You just don't know when.
Yeah.
Yes.
I love it. So for you, how did you decide your pricing? That's another there's a lot of thoughts and a lot of people nervous to price it at anything. I mean, I have a lot of customers and friends here that are scared to charge $1, like just any money. It's like, wait, should I really be charging for this? What do you have to say to that?
I've been there. Oh my gosh. So you look at your own work and you're thinking nobody's going to find any value in it. It's not worth what somebody else pays for it to somebody else. And that is so hard, and you're stuck in your own mind. So what I did was I looked at the local people and looked at their pricing, and I went with their pricing.
So you just said, if they're charging it, I'm going to charge it.
Yes.
You didn't have any, have you changed and like switched your prices any, or you're like, you know what, this has been my price, it serves me well? Like how has your relationship been with pricing?
I need to increase my price because the cost of things have gone up.
Sure.
But I have not increased my price.
Okay.
I don't know if that's the right answer or not, but I haven't, because I'm still doing well at it, and I don't feel like I'm overcharging for my product. Right. But at the same time, I didn't want to come in under somebody else's price and look as if I'm trying to take their business, because I've heard others say, don't undervalue your work.
Yeah.
So, and don't try to steal somebody else's customer. Don't do that. Just find your price that works for you. When those first couple people order that and they pay that price for it, and you're like, oh my gosh, they think that mine's worth this. Yeah. And then one of my cousins, when she orders something, she's like, you have not priced that for what it needs to be. And she has tipped me, and I'm like, girl, stop.
That's so sweet.
I guess it is very sweet. But I'm very comfortable at where I'm at, and I'm making money.
Right.
So I'm not rich overnight, but when I first started, I had a notebook, and I was writing my expenses and my deposits, and I was reordering my stuff with what extra I had.
I love that.
And that's what I did until I got to the point, this notebook's not working. So I went and ordered and opened another bank account, and then got the credit card for that bank, or debit card, whichever one you want to do. Bank account. And I run everything through that. So now I can watch that account grow.
And when you decide, like, you know what, I want to treat myself to a new heat press, or I want to treat myself to a new printer.
Yes.
You know what funds you can kind of guilt-free shop through, in my opinion. Like,
that's exactly right.
Oh,
yes.
I love it. Now, you touched on something that I love, and this is so fun. You talked about deposits.
Yes.
Have you always charged deposits?
Oh, no, not deposits like that. Just where I was
just like deposits of money. Okay.
Yes.
Do you charge deposits?
Sometimes. Most of the time.
Do you follow your gut, like if you need a deposit or not?
Yes.
I agree.
And most of the time, I don't charge it. I truly believe that if you do me right, I'm going to do you right, and I expect you to do me right. And I've been burned a time or two, but
did you want to stop when you got burnt? Were you like, maybe I should stop doing this?
I was like, maybe I should start charging that deposit. I don't want to stop because it's fun.
Yeah.
What I do is fun, and when we're working and it's not fun, we stop.
Good.
Yes.
I love it.
Yes.
Now, how are you doing this all in the evenings, the weekends? Like, when is the time you're fulfilling these orders?
Oh, gosh. I get home about 5:30. If I've got anything I need to do, the laptop comes out. I get started, and I will be printing for the next hour or two, whatever is necessary.
That's how many orders she could have, y'all. She could be printing for an hour or two.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, and I don't realize how that sounds until you repeat it back to me.
I'm like, it takes me like 30 seconds to print a design for a shirt, but you're printing so many.
Yes.
It's awesome.
Yes, and you don't realize how it sounds until somebody does it exactly that, repeats it back to you. Now, yes, because I will spend several hours getting ready. When Scott comes in, I've got the press heated, the shirts are laid out in the order they go in, all the blowout papers cut and ready, and then we'll press shirts for an hour or two.
Oh, that's amazing.
So, yes, I easily can be finishing up at 10:30 at night, get my shower, and go to bed.
No way.
Yes, and that can be
Dottie,
every
when's
day.
Dinner time? In the middle?
In the middle?
Yeah, between the printing, while it's printing, you're eating.
A lot of times, yes. The press is heating up. We're eating. Whatever's going on. But we don't have kids. So,
sure.
And at this point, we're old enough that when I say we don't have kids, we should have grandkids at this point. But, so, we don't have that. But we do have a lot of other hobbies.
Yes.
So we just work it in. We're doing it of the evening. We're doing it on Saturday.
That's fun.
weather hasn't been good and I need to bleach, I will bleach on Sunday. It's not a job.
Right.
And that's the big thing is it's not a job for me. It is fun.
I love it.
I'm making money and it's fun.
Isn't that cool?
It is.
That's the number one reason why when I'm encouraging people to charge for their stuff, they're like, but it's fun. And I'm like, that's why you can still charge. Like, and that's why you're going to make time for it, right?
Yes.
You know, these are successful people that are in early retirement or thinking about retiring or still working, and they want to charge, but they're like, this is too fun to charge, right?
Yes.
What would you say to that?
It is a lot of fun, but you are making something for somebody else, and they're going to pay somebody to do the work, get the product they want.
Yeah.
And why not let it be you?
Why not you, right?
Why not?
That's what I love. One of our employees here, Sadie has been on the podcast, and she pulled out a text message when I had her on the show, and she's like, Tanner, when I was thinking about actually doing this as like my Etsy shop, she's like, you sent me a text message, and it's like, what if it works out, right? Like, what really could happen if it worked out? And that's what I think is so neat. I mean, like, so many people are here like, oh my gosh, what if I would spend 2 hours printing for shirts? Like, that would be crazy here. But a lot of my customers use a Cricut. So before you sublimated, were you selling Cricut projects, or has it always been? Tell me about like what has been your best sellers and things like that.
Well, I started out with a vinyl and did a lot of the stuff with the Cricut. I still use the Cricut. I have an order right now for a shirt that it's going to be all vinyl because the color shirt they wanted, I'm like, it's going to be vinyl. Yeah. So I still do that.
I wear black all the time, so you have to like screen print or you have to like accept vinyl and, you know, I think vinyl has probably like, until it starts chipping a little, I personally think it's like a 6 to 8 month lifespan. Because I'm pretty rough on my shirts.
Yes. So you're going to get your money's worth out of that, most definitely.
For sure.
So I will do the vinyl shirts. I make stickers. The vinyl stickers, I'm also now working on making the stickers with the sublimation or the print and cut.
At you, yeah.
Yes. So I've been doing the print and cut.
That's awesome.
Elisa, she's been getting some stickers from me from the school for the school she works at, where she's in the culinary arts. So all of those pies and things they sold a couple of weeks ago, they had little stickers on them, and I made the stickers for her. So I'm doing the print and cut. Yes.
So you're even doing like bulk stickers.
Yes. Yes. I just made her some the other day. Julie that I was talking about.
Yes.
She makes those teas, and I make the stickers for her cups.
It's so fascinating that you're not getting almost every order you tell me about. It's never just one.
No.
It's really such a unique market to me.
Yes.
That almost everyone you're associated with has the possibility and the opportunity that they would need more than one.
Yes.
Whether it's the school or it's a fundraiser or it's a business. Like, do you do a lot of business for other businesses?
I have done a few businesses. But mine seems to be the school, and I have another school. And then just today, I had a lady who I haven't heard from in a year, and she texted me and she said, oh, hey, it's ball season. We're fixing to start up. My child has moved up to whatever next level in playing ball, and we're going to need some shirts. Are you interested? And I'm like, of course I am. So she's supposed to text me later the design she's looking for. Who knows how many it's going to turn into.
Right.
And I just roll with it.
You're just rolling with it.
I do. I'm just like, oh yeah. I'll just
so you have a lot of was this customer a repeat customer?
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
I think, and I try to teach my students, it's so much easier to work with the same person a second, a third time.
Yes.
Than constantly on the lookout for a new customer.
Yes.
Isn't that pretty cool?
Yes.
That you're building these relationships. How has it been handling all of the communication?
You hope you don't lose any text messages. Oh my gosh, text messages, Messenger.
Yeah.
If my phone goes down, I'm in trouble.
Right.
Yes. So I have my little order pad. I have one at home that sits beside me on the couch, and at work there's one that sits on the corner of my desk, and I'll jot down a note on it. And then if I don't have time to do anything else with it, I'll take it home, and then I'll go back to that message and I'll write it down. But, you know, those repeat customers, I think this will be her third order, but that's in 3 years.
Yeah.
It's just once a year. But she's remembering me. She's coming back to me because she's happy with her product.
That's the secret.
What do you say to that?
You say, I like the sound of that.
Yes. And she's like, are you still making shirts? Are you interested in it? Of course I am.
Yeah.
Yes.
I love it. So what would you say for other sellers out there? What is your biggest tip that you would want to give a new seller or a seller in general?
Oh, I think this is going to go back to our conversation we had. Yes. So I was telling you this before we got started. Be true to yourself. Okay, so I have to look at my notes because this was the one thing I wanted to be able to say. If you make a mistake and you mess up, just own it. Own it. Fix it. Don't make any excuses for it, because I have it happen on so I had an order that was just 2 shirts recently. You'd think that I could spell a name out of the Bible and spell it correctly. Esther. Oh, my gosh. Okay. So my excuse was, and I know the lady, so you appreciate this, but I'll go to the next one to make it right. But it was Esther, and I left out the H. And I was like, what? And they're like, I was like, the H is silent. So I just left it out. And this was how we laughed about it.
Gosh.
So that's a simple 2-shirt, fix it and move on. But in the school, I had an order of, I cannot remember how many, so it was 35 to 50 shirts. And I know that's a broad number, but it was in that
too
range.
many to count.
Too many to count. And it had their name all over it in different fonts and just every which way on it. Delivered it, that had the shirts a week or 2, and, well, I made a pillow and put the same design on it. That's what happened. I made the pillow, and I dropped it off at the school, and I hadn't been back to work an hour. And she texted me or called me, I don't know, and she's like, did you know this is spelled wrong? And I was like, what's spelled wrong? I was like, what? So I'm pulling up my phone, and I'm finding a picture, and I'm like, what are you talking about? What's missing? It was not obvious to the eye, but I had left an O out on all these shirts.
All the shirts.
The pillow. And I freaked out. Not to them. I was like, oh, okay, let me think about this and let me get back to you, because it was so much to take in that moment.
Right.
So I called Scott, of course, and I'm like, oh, Scott, we have messed up. And I just knew he'd be mad, and he was not. And he was like, it's okay. Yeah. I was like, we're going to have to fix this. And he said, yes, we have to fix this.
I love that.
So we got the order back out, made sure I had all the sizes, ordered the shirts again, reprinted. And what I told him, I was like, you keep all those shirts. Just wear it in the house, clean house, wear it in the garden, do whatever you want to do. Don't you put my name with that shirt. So we remade all of the shirts, took it back. Of course, there's no charge.
Yeah.
I messed it up.
You owned it.
I owned it. So you own your mistake, make it right as quick as you possibly can. And that's my advice. Be true to yourself. Be who you are, and your name speaks volumes.
It does.
And always remember that, because if you try to take that shortcut, you're hurting your name and your reputation. But what happened with that is, once we were like, okay, we're fixing this. We've said we're fixing this, and we're moving on, and this is going to be okay. We started on it, and I don't know how quick after that it was, but it was very quick. I had another order come in for almost the same number of shirts for somebody else. Don't even remember who it was or what it was. But I told Scott, I said, the Lord has took care of us in this. We did what was right. We didn't cry about it, other than the initial, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? But we did.
You didn't mope around the spilt milk.
No. Take it in, realize that you need to pay a little bit better of attention, which I should have, because I approve the design.
Right.
And my designer, she's like, oh, this is on me, this is my fault. And I'm like, no, it's not. And she's like, but I did it. And I'm like, but you send me that file, you asked me to approve it, I approved it. I did it. I didn't spell check everything like I should have. I mean, I owned it. You own that mistake, and you fix that mistake, and you move forward. And the Lord turned right around and gave me that many
Isn't
more
that crazy?
back. It's crazy.
I mean, you taking like extreme ownership.
Yes.
You didn't try to blame the designer.
No.
You didn't try to blame them for not noticing at delivery.
No.
You said, you know what? We'll just take care of you.
Yes.
That's awesome. And when they order from you again, they'll know that Dottie's got them, which I think there's so much comfort in having a quality business. And when you really think about it, to have repeat customers like that, when you have such like success, the secret is just to treat your customers really, really well.
Yes.
Because then they know that they'll always be able to come back to you. You're always going to take care of them. And really, that's the secret that I think a lot of people, I mean, as much as we love what we do, I love the work I get to do, it's still a job.
Yes.
It's still work.
Yes.
As much as we love it and as much as we have fun in the trenches of it and the making of it. And I mean, I could only imagine how upset you were in the initial reaction of that.
Yes.
But I bet you found some joy while you were remaking it and just being like, you know what, I'm just so glad that I'm Dottie who keeps my word. And like,
yes. and laugh it off and just let it go. Don't dwell on it. Because and talking to them, I couldn't react that I was upset. So you're having to watch how you react.
Yes.
And I wasn't upset with them at all. I was upset with me that I was like, how did I miss this?
Dottie, how much more do you pay attention when you get that first initial look to approve of a design now?
Well, apparently when I misspelled Esther myself,
you know, it still happens. We're still not perfect.
Yes, but you pay that much more attention to it. It's just like forgetting to put a piece of blowout paper between shirts and it pressing through, and it's like, how many times have I done this?
Yeah.
Pay better attention.
Yeah.
Yes.
I was doing a Black Friday event once, and I did, oh my gosh, it was a challenge. I forget how much time I gave myself, but it was like, how many things can Tanner sublimate in an hour?
Ooh.
It was so much fun, but I kept the hardest part was getting all of the paper ready for in between the layers and like, wait, have I used that piece yet? Wait, I can't, I don't want to you know what I mean? Like all the things when it comes to sublimation, it's crazy. Has sublimation been your favorite? Like, is that your favorite?
Yes.
Oh, it's really special.
It is. It's just, there's a lot of work that goes into the work you do, either way you go. But I like it. And I also do the tumbler. So I'll do a tumbler. And if I've got several with several different designs, I'm sitting there and I'm baking them all at one time. So they're already wrapped up. I've got the shrink wrap on them. So when I put them in that oven, I don't know which one I put in.
Yeah.
So when it comes out and I'm unwrapping
it's
it,
a surprise.
It is. It's just like Christmas opening presents to see which one I'm
wrapped.
That I wrapped. And I forgot what it was.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Speaking of that, what's your favorite tips for your seamless tumblers? I mean, obviously I love the shrink wrap.
Yes. I love the shrink wrap. It's getting your paper tight on it, getting it taped down. The bottom edge is the one I have the worst with getting a little bit of
ghosting.
Yes.
It happens.
Yes. Just keep trying, keep working with it, and they're going to mess up. And
yeah. Now, I have a lot of friends of the show that worry, like, how do I make sure all my expenses are like managed? And I loved you talking about the bank account, but when you started talking about the wrapping of the tumblers, I think a lot of people get hung up in like, wait, I just used a lot of sublimation tape. Like, am I charging enough for the amount of tape I need to use on these? Do you have any words of wisdom for people, especially maybe if they're just starting out, on what they should really be monitoring? Should they monitor all their supplies? I like to say, like, you should monitor all the supplies you're buying for the specific projects. So, you know, your startup cost is something you probably already have because we're all hobby crafters here. But then I like to start telling them, like, okay, when you're selling and you're buying specific things for the order, that's when I like to really keep good tight reins on the supplies.
Yes. You know, I shop around for my tumblers. I make sure I've read my reviews, that I'm getting a tumbler that takes sublimation well.
Yes.
Because there are those out there that don't.
Yeah.
So I'm watching the reviews for that. Now I order my tumblers in quantity so that I have them, and it does help me on my price point.
Right.
And then I shop for everything else, and I make sure that I'm getting the right price for it, and keep on hand what I need, because when somebody needs something, sometimes it's, I need it right now. I forgot that I need to get this. And I'm not saying take all rush orders, by no means, because that's hard.
Do you try to take all the rush orders you get?
I take a lot. If I've never heard your name before and you've never done anything with me, I'm not going to do
You're not jumping.
I'm not going to jump and do yours. But if you are a loyal customer of mine, and I don't have a problem with somebody buying from somebody else, but if you're loyal to me, I'm going to do my best to meet your deadline of what you need.
Right.
Yes.
Right. I love that.
And as I'm working on tumblers, I can put another one right in the middle of it, and you really don't notice it. Another shirt in the middle of a shirt order, you really don't notice, but you're taking care of your people that have took care of me all of this time.
That's so cool. So as you've grew your business, has there been anything that you've had to overcome personally, like any boundaries you've had to set on your business? Has there been anything that you're like, you know what, I can only take this many orders, or I need to charge more for this? Or has there been a type of project you had to stop offering altogether?
There's not been anything I've had to stop at this point. At Christmas, I have learned to set my deadline and try to stay to it. Try to stay to it.
What is it?
I think this past Christmas, I want to say it was December the 10th, maybe.
Wow.
And that does sound early, but you're not rushing at the last minute. And I also want to be able to enjoy Christmas and not be making somebody something on the 23rd that I've got to deliver on the 24th.
No,
and
thanks.
I've missed the holiday.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
and the meaning.
It's hard.
It
right.
is hard.
It is hard. I mean, we're helping people like you know, we're helping everyone making their handmade holiday, right?
Yes.
Like that's our job, is to help other people have a handmade holiday. So we're working all over. I tell my entire team, we work so much. I mean, we work the entire week between Christmas and New Year's. We work on New Year's Eve. We work all day on Black Friday. Like, we're working so hard in the holidays. I totally get it.
Yes.
And the only thing I've been able to do to help our team, I'm like, y'all, you get your 2-week PTO, but we have a 2-week company shutdown in the summer because it's slow.
Yes.
It's slow. Like, business is slower in the summer. And I was like, y'all, enjoy these 2 weeks on me because we work really hard. I mean, you know, November, December, that is the time to shine. The holiday season, that's when crafters need us. I mean, I always tell people there's a deadline and it's Christmas. Like,
and it is. Yes.
There's no other, another time that you're like, oh, okay, I'm going to make a spring project. Well, there's no deadline. I'm going to make a summer project. Like, besides from a Halloween costume or something similar, like Thanksgiving, but Christmas is the day, like, you're shining. Like, that is the deadline of a handmade gift.
Yes.
So, I love that. So, December 10th, and then when do you try to have all those done?
My goal would be the 19th, 20th. That way I can get it to the people and they're ready to roll and they're not stressing over their last minute thing that they haven't got yet.
Right.
Now, I may be stressing if that shirt's going to get here in time, but they're not going to know that. It's ordered, it's on its way. And if I don't get it, I'm going to go out and find it somewhere.
So tell me more. How do you get your shirts from, like, Jiffy? Like,
I get a couple different places. I use Jiffy a lot. Just ordered last night from Jiffy because
options.
Yes. So I order from them. I order from, I think it's either SLC or SLS Activewear.
Yeah.
And I order from Sanmar. But those two places, you have to have your business license. You have to have your tax exempt. So, I just watch and see where I can get it. Jiffy, a lot of times is where I'm getting it.
Yeah.
Because you get your free shipping at I think $59 or $79, whichever one it is now.
Pretty favorable.
Yes. So I do that. If I need a last minute shirt, I'll run to Hobby Lobby. Yes. I'll go wherever I have to.
Hobby Lobby has those 30% off shirts all day.
Yes.
Now, did they mark it up a little bit to mark it down? Maybe.
Yeah, probably.
Of course.
Yes.
But it's every day. Like, it's just a good price. Do you keep a lot of shirts on hand?
I hope that I don't, but I really do. I have one of those metal racks, and I have it sorted out by sizes so I can at a glance see if I've got that.
Many.
And then there's another shirt that I really, really like. It's 100% polyester, but it feels like cotton. Has that look to it. And I have a box of those with a bunch of sizes in it that I can go to and get it because that's just such a good shirt to use. So I have a couple $100 worth of T-shirts on hand, but probably more.
For you and your ideal client, I would even say a couple $100 worth of shirts isn't that many for you. Like, you're still ordering probably fairly often.
Yes.
Every couple weeks.
I'm ordering at least once a week
usually.
My gosh. And what's bad is I ordered last night, so it was late last night when I ordered, and then like the lady said, today I'm just going to start needing shirts. So she's going to get together. Had she already had sizes, I would have already opened the cart. Because like the girls at work, they're like, do you have a cart open? I always have a cart open. Always. And if I need that shirt and can't get it anywhere else, I'll bite the bullet and pay the shipping to get it to take care of my people.
I love that. Yes. It is so good.
You asked me a question earlier, and I didn't. I left this part of it out of where do you draw the line at?
Yes.
So this is not...
People need to know when, or like everybody wants more help on where to draw the line.
Yes. Well, I'm going to tell you, if it is against something that I believe or feel, I'm probably not going to do it. Scott knows someone that their taste in shirts is different.
Sure.
And he asked, because he's took some shirts to work before, to some of the guys' wives and all these things. And he likes this style of T-shirt. And he said, could you make this? And Scott said, I'm sorry, but she will not make that.
Yeah.
And this was the first time I've ever heard him say this. No. And so I didn't have to say no. He said it for me. He told him, he said, she's a good church girl, and she's not going to make that. And he had to do that.
Yeah.
And now I did make a shirt one time that I had no idea what it meant.
Oh, Lord.
I don't know what I thought it was, but we're talking about it, and one day at work, just out of the blue.
No way.
Somebody said something. I'm like, what is that? And they're like, that's a song. Oh. And I'm like, what song is that? And they start telling me, and I'm like...
They're like filling you in, and you're like, yes. Precious Dottie over here just making T-shirts.
For Thanksgiving.
Oh,
2 T-shirts. And I'm like...
Lord.
They're like, what's wrong with you? I'm like, let me get my phone. So I got my pictures. Know. And I'm like, I made the shirt. And they're like, you did what?
That's
and
awesome.
I'm like,
that's
I didn't know.
Petty.
Oh, I was so embarrassed.
I bet.
I was. Yeah. I thought I was going to die. And they're just laughing because it's the funniest thing. And I'm like, I swear, sometimes I am so naive.
Well, I think it's fun. It's funny to look back, and now you learn something. But you know what? Lord knew your heart.
Yes, he knew. I was just making sure. It's a wonder I didn't post those on my page. Oh my gosh.
Well, somebody would have been messaging you.
Julie had been like, Dottie, because I did post something one time, and she called me, and she's like, take that off your page now. And I'm like, what? And she's like, do you not know what that means?
You're like, no, I don't. You're like, no, I don't know what it means.
She's like, take that down now. I take it down, and then she tells me, and I'm like,
come on.
Oh, dear. So
wow.
It's a wonder I didn't post it. And a bunch of people at church are on my page, and my pastor's on the page. I mean, he's like my second dad. And hopefully he wouldn't have known what that meant either. But I was like, what if Sonny had saw that?
I mean, I have we get all sorts of people, and they're always talking about where, can I do this? Can I change my business name? Can I do that? I'm like, guess what? You're in charge.
Yes.
You are in charge. You get to make the final call. And it's so different than what people are accustomed to. But that's the beauty of running your own business, calling the shots. Has it ever been overwhelming to you, that you've had the ability to do that? How has it been?
The overwhelming part is when I get all those orders and I'm like, how are we going to get this done in a timely manner?
Yeah. How have you done that? Because I have 2 types of students. I have one that is at the fear of failure. Mm-hmm. No one's ever going to order from me. Nobody wants to pay me there. But then I find other students, what if this does work? What if it's so successful? So for you, someone that has dealt with volume and done it, I mean, we coach people on that. They're going to figure it out. They're either go say no to the order, which they're always able to do, or they can say yes, and they can call in the troops.
Yes.
How has it been?
So my troops are just Scott and myself. So we have no one to call in and help us. But what I have found, because I have looked at it, and I've looked at how many I've got to do, and you can't see the forest for the trees.
Yeah.
So quit looking that I have got 10 I've got to make tonight or whatever. Quit looking at the amount that you have to make. Look at it one at a time. Work it one at a time, and you're going to get there. Yeah. But you can get overwhelmed in the amount of it. Mm-hmm. So one at a time.
That's amazing.
Chomp at it one at a time.
That's how you handle it.
It is, and if it takes doing it 7 days a week, as long as you're having fun, do it.
Yes.
But because everybody says you work on Sundays, it's not a job to me.
Right.
And when we start having trouble, like I told you earlier, we stop. We're like, it's time to stop.
We need a break.
We need a break. We'll get this later, tomorrow, whenever, but one at a time.
Yeah. It sounds like to me that you're also proactive enough that you aren't waiting until that last minute for even the stress of a deadline to really creep up, which I think is a secret.
Yes, that is definitely
that's a
part
secret
of it.
sauce. Like, that's what you want to do. And to me, hearing this, your prices sound like it's still motivating you to get up and do it.
Yes.
Like when people come to me and they're like, oh, you know, this isn't working out, or they're unhappy, and come to find out they're really just like feel like they're undercharging by like $5 to $10. I'm like, well, you should just raise your price. And they're like, but nobody will buy. I'm like, but you're not fulfilling your orders. You're not doing the business the right way.
Right.
And you need to feel like it's worth your time to have it on your plate, because you're stewarding this work of your business name, and, you know, you're taking on responsibility for someone else's finances. Like, it's a big weight.
It is. It's huge. And, you know, like you said, you know, just quit stressing. Now, if you need to raise your prices, raise your prices.
Yeah.
When I'm talking about I probably need to raise my prices because I now have to pay sales tax.
Yeah.
I'm not adding sales tax to their order, so I'm absorbing that cost. But when I'm talking about raising my price, I'm probably shooting myself in the foot, but I'm thinking $1.
Yeah.
Raise it $1 a shirt.
Just to help subsidize some expense.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So good.
You don't
no
have
one
to
would
raise.
even notice it.
Probably not. but trust yourself to know that you have good customers.
Yeah.
And they're going to pay that extra $1 if you explain, you know, like for me, I'm having to pay sales tax on it. Well, your shirt, the sales tax is more than $1.
Yeah.
And I'm just only going to raise it $1. But like I said, the cost of things have gone up.
Right.
So everybody knows it. Why have I not done it? I said I was going to do it January the 1st, and then I didn't.
I wonder what made you not?
When I was getting my shirts from the other suppliers, because that price point's a little bit better. Oh. And if I'm ordering more shirts, then of course I can get the lower price. But then when I'm back down to using, like I said, I use Jiffy a lot.
Right.
When I'm back to them, the prices, they've gone up.
A lot.
They have gone up a lot, but I haven't.
Yeah.
And I should.
But it's easier.
It's easier not to. And that it's my good, loyal customers. And what do you do?
Right.
But when they're ordering, like I said, that one school, they're ordering 30 to 50 shirts at a time, I'm fine by not raising my prices.
Yeah.
And I realize that. And I'm not trying to make a living and support a family off of what I'm doing.
This is a good side income.
Yes.
I love that.
Yes. Because like I said, I work, you're going to love this. I work my full-time job, so it's 8 to 5. Then I am a bookkeeper for Sonny, where he has a car, or not a car lot, auto repair. I do his bookkeeping. Our former owner, he still has a little bit. I bookkeep for him, which doesn't take me hardly anything at all. And then I am the treasurer for the youth account at church.
Oh, my word. Dottie.
Where do you fit it all in? You just
do it.
You see what needs to be done when, and you just schedule it. I'm a bookkeeper by trade. That is what I do all day long. So I'm a bookkeeper.
Yeah.
So I know how to schedule those things in. What has to be done when sales tax due, when's the financial report due, all these things. So I do the same thing with my shirts. When is this due? When is this due? When is this due? And I just work at it.
That's amazing that you've been able to take skills from your normal trade, your normal day job, and like apply it and use those organization tools and those processes in that business, because it sounds like that's what keeps it still fun for you.
And it does. And then if you're not sure about a part of what you're doing, reach out to somebody that you know that does that. And they're a big help.
Yeah.
Yes.
That
Use
is
your
the
resources.
Way. Always. That is so good.
Yes.
Well, Dottie, what else do you have anything else to share with our viewers?
Oh, goodness.
This has been such a great conversation.
I'll tell you, my fear is, and to come in here today, part of my fear is what if nobody likes me, and what if nobody wants to listen and say anything positive to say, and I don't get not one follower, on my Facebook page, which is silly. But then what if?
Yeah.
What if?
Oh, just wait. Just wait till you see everyone in the comments, and they're just going to love on you and just give you all the love It's going to be so much fun. So where can people connect with you?
Okay, so I'm on Facebook. I have a closed group, so you have to search for me. I am Look at This by Dottie.
I'll link it for them in the description.
Perfect.
Yes.
I have a tie-dye background to it, so you can find it easy. You'll have to ask to join the group, and then I will grant permission that way. I'm on TikTok. Have no idea what my username on there is, but there's very little on there. I don't put a lot.
You're too busy making. You're too busy making shirts.
Yes, but my advice to anybody is just do it and have fun.
Oh, they're gonna love it. Well,
Believe in
Dottie,
yourself.
thank you so much for coming on today, and seriously, just being so open to have this conversation, because more people need to see that they could be doing it too. So I just appreciate you for coming on and sharing and being so open to share with other like-minded creatives. It's such a great way to pay it forward.
Thank you so much. I've enjoyed this so much.
Guys, if you enjoyed Dottie's episode, go ahead and leave us a comment, like the video, and we cannot wait to see you back here on another amazing Unfiltered podcast episode. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye. Bye. Thank you guys so much for watching a Makers Gonna Learn Unfiltered podcast. This has been such a fun time getting to hang out with you, and I want to make sure to let you guys know you can actually watch this podcast wherever you love to watch podcasts. So whether you want to consume it on Apple, Spotify, YouTube with an audio video podcast, we got you covered, and I want to say thank you for hanging out with us today for another episode. If you guys have any questions, be sure to let us know down below. We are always constantly looking for podcast ideas, so if you have a topic you think we should cover that me or the team would love, drop it down below. If you need anything, reach out to hi@makersgonnalearn.com. And if you have not joined our amazing crafting community, check out makersgonnalearn.com. I will leave you an amazing offer right down below to get you plugged in and get started today. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.